It is Sunday, April 30th, 2023. A pattern that I'm noticing over the last several months is that I record, as usual, my Sundays dialoguing and the insights that flow from the connected state, the flow state. Choose your preferred word. It's not a word, it's an experience of being in that river. And it's been profound for me every Sunday. Just the amazing transition that's demonstrated between the dialogue and the connected state. And it isn't always a message, a translation like it used to be. It's just me seeing and perceiving what is available for me to see and perceive, and then translate from my view, my human view. And I come out of those and I'm just so, every single time it happens, it's amazing. Even though I've done it hundreds of times at this point, it's still, each one is brand new. Each one is unique in the way it connects and shows me truth, allows me to feel this exquisite love and belonging. This is the home feeling that I've never had here. And, eternally grateful for this. So, I have several of these Sundays recorded and in, and making them into, I have to do movies, doesn't mean moving images, just one static image. So I can still do this for free and not pay money constantly out for people to host these files. Anyway, I never know what to do with them by the time I come out of it. And I'm not in that expanded, oh my God, people have to know that they can do this too. Here's a demonstration of it. And then by the time next Sunday comes around, which is now, I don't feel it. I don't feel the inspiration to share it because I feel like I'm getting too far beyond understanding of what I'm talking about. That's just what I'm feeling. I'm not saying that's what's true, but I feel like the way this works is others are moving with me. And so we can have the constant conversation about what we're seeing and feeling and not having to translate so much anymore to those who are not necessarily as engaged or excited about expanding. And so it's almost like you're with a group that's, made their way up the trail and are seeing different scenery and having different experiences and interactions with natural world beings and other dimensional natural beings, and then those that decided to stay and camp out for a while didn't feel the motivation to engage on the journey. They need it translated because they don't have the changes in their consciousness that would understand what we were even talking about. So this is the part that's been really, really challenging for me to translate, that every step on this journey, your consciousness is changed so that you can see more and understand more. And if you're not in flow, in movement, or, engaging in, this dialogue of, hey, I want this, and here's what I'm feeling now. I am engaged with this journey. I know I'm on a journey, just really, not doubting. You're not in that doubting space anymore, or waiting for the world to acknowledge this particular journey, which it will not until you're with that group that is moving. And then, each of the travelers acknowledge each other. And that's where you get your validation, not from the world that was. And that's one of the tricks. It's just something to watch out for at this juncture, because we're definitely moving with this light. And if this is, for some people, if this is simply, a spiritual entertainment, it's not going to be very entertaining for the ego mind, the one that wants to be distracted and told that they don't have to make an effort, they don't have to engage with feeling, that it's this is the choosing time, as has been said so often, and this is what it boils down to. You're either getting your eyes opened because you're on the trail and you're talking to others that are with you on the trail, or you are still invested in the world that was and waiting to be told what to do. I've said that 1,000 times already. In the evolution of the messages, it came years ago, but I didn't even understand. I didn't have the eyes to understand. The third eye to understand what is it saying. So it would show me in movies in my third eye, and then in my body what things would feel like at these time spaces on the trail. And my job was to be like a trail leader, or years ago, Daryl Anka channeled to me and said that it was based on a dream I had, and it was interpreted for me by Bashar. And ever since I have known that this is true and resonates with me, it was just like a boom, yes, this is true. That I'm a scout. I go ahead. It was a dream about a wolf, that I was a wolf, and that he was a wolf too. And so he was saying that this is why we're here. We go out ahead and we say, okay, everybody, here's what's coming. You need to prepare for this. And then kind of like a guide through it. And it's just always rung true. I have never forgotten that, because it is very true about me. All the evidence is here about what motivates and excites me, and Those are the indicators for the truth about who I am, about who you are. If there's passion and excitement, that's where flow gets initiated if you're engaged with that passion. And that's what leads you beyond this limited world. Run out of adjectives. Sometimes I get adjective fatigue. Anyway, when I connect like this and just talk to you, it starts to flow, because this is who I am. This is my job. This is my passion, to let you know what you're connected to. And because I've taken these steps on the trail in actuality, not in story form, but actual terms, then I can, as a traveler, I can speak to you about what you might encounter in this territory. Watch out for this, and that kind of information for the journey. And you are entering, when you do this, you're consciously entering into expansion instead of just talking about it on social media. And it's not appealing to the ego. It is not appealing. So, and that is an indicator of fear. If someone says this is bullshit, I'm just not going to participate in this. And there's still a lot of ego that is not able to see for themselves. So the interpretations and the translations by others seem extreme. But there's there will soon, if it hasn't happened already, there will be large context changes in these people's lives that are, individual or collective, that cause a sense of being backed into a corner. Do I choose this or do I choose this? And it's an intense, because of procrastination or judgment of others that, talk about weird things, and you've judged them as not intelligent or not sensible. You'll soon be in a place of, do I choose what I've always been told and trust and continue to trust that and say yes to that because they are the authorities? Or do I trust this inner voice that says you need to step in this direction now, with all those people you called crazy, but this is the way. And if you can even hear that voice at that moment in time. And so everything I'm saying now, as this is streaming, this is what I went through in my life repeatedly. So I know these territories. I know, we're here on the trail again. And it's a spiral that keeps bringing you back to these same yet different looking choices. But at the core of it is, do you choose love or do you choose fear? Do you choose to continue to externalize your authority, or are you willing to at least step in the direction and explore what it's like to restore your internal authority? By being around people that are doing this, whether you can recognize it or not, if you're still in vibrational vicinity of someone who is demonstrating this, that's a blessing. That's a blessing. And it's like saying you still have a choice. you can still choose, even though you think it's crazy, you can still choose to explore it and say, okay, I know I don't want to externalize my authority anymore because I don't see anyone on the scene that I identify with, that I would choose as my leader, as the smart one, the intelligent one. So I'm going to turn in this direction of expansion, even though it terrifies me, because it is all unknown, right? This is what stepping into the unknown is. This is what the translated message unknown pressing in is. This unknown will be pressing in even further. And it's just going to keep saying, it's like a squeeze. It's just going to keep saying, okay, do you want to just go for it? And even though you don't know anything, or do you want to go with what you know, even though it's really awful and uncomfortable? In a contracting way. The other way is the discomfort in an expanding way. And I remember that was one of the very first messages that came back in like 2005 or 2006, saying, this is your choice. It's going to feel like this, or it's going to feel like this. And then it would show me in my body what it would feel like. I didn't know how to explain to anyone at the time that I was only translating into words because people needed words. But they were showing me and telling me everything I needed to know within my own consciousness. Because I was vibrationally receptive to this information. And so, of course, it was always this way my whole life. But once the Kundalini event happened in 1998, it changed me even more to where I started just getting so much data, feeling data, that I needed to share with people. I knew I needed to share it, but it was more like it was data that was waiting for them to unpack themselves if they stepped into this some kind of an inner inquiry dialogue practice, which, by the way, I'm seeing popping up everywhere out in the world. Some form of the dialogue. It's amazing to watch. It really is. Which just validates this internal voice and guidance within me. So, which I've needed. I have really needed it. I don't need it so much anymore because I've seen enough evidence and synchronicities and all the signs that say you are here. But anyway, the messages were kind of like, because I was rising in frequency, then I would step further into the unknown, as scary as it was, because I had no one, for a good many years of my life to share or reflect with about what was happening to me with my perception. So it's, this internal dialogue and authority, guidance within me. I was simply saying, okay, here's where I am on the trail, on the frequency trail, and here's what I'm understanding now, and here's all these pockets of data that hold on, it's in frequency. There's no words. It just informs you instantaneously of what you need to know and see. But I agreed to be a translator. So I'm taking that frequency data that I'm stepping into with my current perception and translating it from there, not translating it to those who are in an earlier spot on the trail, frequency-wise. And none of this is judgment. It just simply is. You're either engaged with expanding frequencies or you're not. And that's okay. There's no judgment at all of what you should or shouldn't do. I'm just here to let you know what's available to you. Now, you have options. So this is, I don't think I've ever articulated that in this way before, this understanding that it's us, even though I've known it and might have alluded to it in several situations on Light Dialogic or in messages. It truly is that you have to grow into these pockets of information. And the pockets of information are internal. It's not like, I can see a bunch of people, hearing this right now might be going to, some external picture or imagery that you're, on the trail and stepping into these pockets. Yes, it's good imagery for understanding this more deeply. But understand at the same time, these are pockets within you of data. So you're lighting up more, which unlocks, this data within you. So, and now you have the perception to go, oh, and this is what revelations are. You will, if you haven't experienced an aha or a revelation before, it's really extraordinary. It's like everything just click, 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 click inside of you. And you just feel connected and clear, and you can see. And oh my God, I totally get it now. And those can be kind of peak experiences, which is what helps you keep going, are the peak experiences. But then we integrate those peak experiences, and then it's just like, oh, but of course, So it's not like a revelation, anymore, that particular understanding, because it's integrated. And now you're moving on to further revelations where you go, oh my God, I totally get this now. And then that's integrated. And so this is how you raise your vibration. And this is how you see and understand more. And it's why I keep saying, I have been saying for many years now, you must be engaged to keep moving, to keep expanding. And this is up to you. Nobody's going to say, oh, come on, we'll take you on our trail, even though you're like not really into it. That's not going to happen. It's your vibration that attracts the people and the guidance and the journey. It attracts it to you. And so even if others, members on Light Dialogic, find that there's some other trail leader that they just feel really excited about, you should go and be in that community. Because this is what it's about right now. I'm here, Eduardo's here, other members are here who are absolutely 100% committed to this journey. And we're discovering things every step of the way. And that's why we have Light Dialogic, so that we can, talk to each other and say, here's my new understanding. Here's my new insight. Oh, I had another revelation, and let me try and explain it, how it works. It's that. And then when we mirror to each other this part of the trail of frequency expansion, if we can mirror that to each other, then we are strengthened, and it helps us all to integrate, and then we keep moving. And others can move with us on this trail until they have their own revelations and their own understandings, simply by being in proximity with those who are actively engaged with the journey. So you can come along on this journey, and the understanding from what I have experienced is, if you're with us and you are engaging, even though you can't explain it, you feel drawn into the conversations we're having. You're feeling excitement about it, but you can't quite put your finger on it. Those are indicators that you are on the right path. If you're not interested, that's okay. You can hang out in the proximity, and perhaps one day you'll just have an experience and you'll go, oh, you'll have your own revelation and you'll say, now I understand what they're talking about. So this is a moving, the way it has been shown to me is this is like a spaceship. This is like a pod that has landed here with me and those that I commune with on Earth and beyond. That this is how people like to use the word ascension, but that's already been a weaponized word. It's already doesn't really properly encompass. It doesn't. It isn't a good word to use because it's been overused inside the smaller consensus looping and new narratives built all the time around that word, and it's not vibrationally accurate for me. So anyway, each of us, there are people all over the globe who have developed their own pod, and this is you'll see these images maybe on social media with these, the spheres of light that the human design generates, and this is like our own pods, and people call it Merkaba or however you pronounce that. I try to stay away from the words like that. But it is an energy sphere and pod. And once you ignite that with all of the, self-inquiry practices and just commitment and engagement to vibrationally expanding, then your pod lights up. And that's when you have the revelations and understanding and the movement forward. And then other pods, individual pods come together and explore, here's what I'm receiving inside my pod. What are you receiving in your pod? And then we start to realize, it's all the same light data that we're receiving. It's all true. And yet each one of us might, interpret it in a slightly different way, because we've had different lives and different ways of translating. But then we fall into vibrational harmony with each other, and then talk about exponential vibration. If you bring where two or more gathered together with their own spheres activated, that's it right there. You're moving, you're expanding, you are returning to home frequency, to love. And it isn't, we don't get to know, here's what it's going to look like. And, we're so used to getting all of our information about, here's who you are, and here's how you orient to life on earth, and No, you get your information when you step your foot forward on the path. You just keep moving, even if it's like, okay, I'm sensing something different here. I don't know how to translate it, but I'll just keep stepping, to keep moving, keep dialoguing, keep, saying what's true out loud when you're on this trail. And then I guarantee you, if you keep moving with this, you will land in an energetic intersection where you have a revelation. you have an experience that's real, that you can feel in your body, and it lights up within you, and then it starts to unpack those frequency information packets within you that not only validate you for your conscious efforts to connect with the truth, to connect with love, to connect with your original source creator, you are also getting the new information that you need to proceed. And this is so clear to me now that I can speak with this confidence, because, it has been a lifetime of trying to figure out, wait, who am I and what am I doing here? Kind of stuff that you hear, some of the other experiencer types and myself talking about. And so when we speak with authority, we claim that authority within us and we share it. That's what ignites those around us to start to feel their own, like, oh, was that my pod lighting up, my sphere? And because there are, very distinctive feelings that if you talk to another experiencer of these igniting energies, they'll say, oh, yep, yep, that's what I felt, and so that's what resonance is. And when you build resonance, one or more come together and build this resonance, this is how you set yourself free. This is the truth that sets us free. But you can also help others be set free the more this resonance pod expands. So then you can energetically influence those around you, that something deep within them recognizes the tone that you're bringing, recognizes the peace that you are, and says, tell me more about your life and why are you so peaceful? Why are you so full of joy when all this shit around us is going down? How do you stay in this peaceful place? And then you can share with them, this is what I learned. And it's not anyone else's dogma. It's something you read in a book, even though you can find resonance there. It's you that is the demonstrator of this light. You are the demonstrator of the light, the way, just as it was assigned to Christ or Jesus Christ, that he was the light, the way. He never said, it's just me. That's how it was translated to you. But what his teachings were, and other masters that came here, the teachings were always about, here's what you have inside of you, and here's, some suggestions for how you can access this. So this is what we're doing now. We're coming. I can't believe I almost stopped myself, because a lot of us are here to demonstrate how this is actually done. It must be embodied. It must be practiced. And it isn't some heavy discipline thing you have to do. It is pure joy to do this. It is pure peace. It's laughter. It's just so wonderful. There just aren't any words. And we get to do this. We get to unlock this within us. Just vibrating right now. I had no intention of sitting down, this morning on my Sunday connecting time and doing this for as long as I have. This just streams through me because it's the right moment for these things to click in my, talking to you. Now I'm envisioning putting this on Light Dialogic. This is, what I saw right from the beginning. And it's like, okay, here we go. So I'm not, quote, channeling some other higher entity, meaning higher frequency being, which I can do. But in this case, these things are coming together within me, inside Eileen or M, my nickname. It's coming. It's integrating within me, and so I'm speaking from this human place of, this isn't some faraway thing you have to keep reaching for. That's a trick of the construct, is that you have to keep doing this and keep practicing this. And, oh, sorry, you haven't become enlightened yet? Oh, just keep practicing and try this method, do this, do that. And so the ego will hop all over the place searching for this, thing that will never be found inside the construct because you haven't actually raised your vibration to unpack the data, to unpack this love within you that says, hi, okay, now let's move in this direction. And it's always something that you feel excited or passionate about. It doesn't mean you won't experience fear and anxiety because it's all so new and nobody's told you about it, but it's happening inside of you. And you learn to trust that light within you. And you have other people to say, yes, trust that light. It is the way. But it always boils down to you and your decision. What do you want? Do you want to expand, or would you prefer to contract again? That's it. Where do you give your power away? Or are you willing to not understand for a while what the heck's going on? But you keep saying, I want to feel this. I want to feel this love that I hear others talking about. I want this, and I'm willing to dialogue and to bring out everything I'm feeling, everything deep within me that I have hidden for years, maybe since you were a young child. It's time to bring all of this out so that you can look at it and you can share with others if you choose, but it's about seeing what is actual. This is how we break the spell and we begin our journey with the light and into more light and understanding with every step of the way. So I am going to share this on Light Dialogic because everything is just so crystal clear this morning, even though when I woke up it wasn't, but when I sat down to dialogue, I'm dialoguing as soon as I get out of bed. It's not just a specific set thing for me anymore. It's all the time. And so here we are. This is what happened when I speak in the present moment. I enter the river, and the river carries me. And part of who I am and my intent for being here is to demonstrate this for those around me. To demonstrate and show you that you have options. You can start to blossom, again, each petal unfolding and showing more of your beauty and radiance as you go. Even though you might not have all the details about what kind of flower you are or, what each petal will bring, but you know that you want to move in the direction of this growth and expansion. And I believe in each and every human being. I trust that they will have their moments, their experiences when they make new choices. Those are moments where you can make new choices. And I would say just remember, you don't have to contract. You can expand, even though you don't have all the answers given to your egoic mind. Lay it all out for you so you can make the right decision. It doesn't work that way. Your heart shows you the way. That's not just a pretty phrase. It's actually true. The vibration, the resonance, it points the way. The love will always show you the way. And so, because I'm going to post this on Light Dialogic, I love each and every one of you. I see you. I celebrate you. And I'm really happy that you're here with us. If you ever come to a moment where you say, something clicks inside and you say, I'm going to share this Light Dialogic community with this friend or that friend or this new person I met, because it feels like that this might be for them, then do share it and invite them in. But as you may have noticed, we don't do a lot of promoting and advertising. This is simply here if the community can sustain it, to where, frankly, on one level, that I'm not going into debt like I have most of my, past few decades, going into debt to deliver this information, that it sustains itself and grows itself, then I'm here. I'll keep showing up. But at a certain point, if it doesn't, and no one feels they know anyone, they're not attracting anyone into their lives that they feel comfortable to share this with, that's fine too. It's just know that this pod must sustain itself. And we will draw in new members if we are embodying and accepting who we are and claiming this for ourselves and radiating that, and you're attracting, new people into your sphere of influence, of feeling influence. So that's how new members will arrive if we get to that. And I'm not attached one way or the other. I know that I'll be fine. Whatever comes next, I trust it. Absolutely trust it, because I've seen it enough times to know that if I have purpose here, I will keep waking up here. If I don't, if I've done all that I can within my realm of influence, then maybe I transcend in the body. I don't know. I just trust. I just keep smiling and trusting. So again, I love all of you, and I'm so overjoyed to share this space with you. This, kind of like this laboratory that the guidance said, set this up. See what happens. Play with it. Let it show you what community is actually about. Okay. So here we are. I hope Some of this, maybe all of this, has value for you. If not, that's okay. Keep choosing love. You are an extraordinary being who is here and conscious. And you have options. Choose love.